Hello everybody, my name is Chikirza and welcome to another art journal video, also known as me painting in my sketchbook. Today I picked out a turquoise, a purple, a light pink, a white, and a black acrylic paint to play with. I'm also going to use this makeup sponge. Ooh, squishy! Let's get started. Starting off with the turquoise acrylic paint, I'm going to use the makeup sponge and just dab it on the page. The idea here is to do something abstract today. Now let's add some of that purple. Again, just dabbing it with the big end of the makeup sponge. Trying to be random with where I'm putting it. And it's leaving some really cool designs on the page from the bottom of the sponge. I think this would be really good for doing clouds in the future. Now let's add some of that pink. I'm holding my book on an angle here so you can see that I'm just dabbing it up and down, almost like jumping up and down on a pogo stick. Because I'm using fairly thin layers here, the paint is drying really quickly. So time to go in with the teal again. And you'll notice that I'm not cleaning the makeup sponge in between applications. I want to intensify that turquoise a bit. So I tried dabbing it on the silicone mat that I have that I'm using as a paint palette. But it wasn't quite intense enough, so I ended up having to use a little bit more paint than I thought originally. Now that that purple is starting to dry, I noticed that it was a little more translucent in places than I wanted. And let's be honest here, I'm just having fun playing with the paint. So I'm going to continue to do that. Instead of doing dabbing motions, now I'm starting to wipe it and rub it into the page, now that I have a layer of acrylic underneath it. Let's add some more of that pink back into the page. Okay, looking good. Now we've got the white and the black that I can still use. So, grabbing a toothbrush, I take the white acrylic paint, put a dab of it on my palette, add a little bit of water on my finger into the white paint, and splatter that across the page with the toothbrush. Now that's looking like a galaxy, but my intention here is to do something abstract. So at this point I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it, but I do have to clean up my area because I've got paint splatter all over my desk. Alright, now that the mess is cleaned up, let's get an idea of what we're going to use here. Using a white Stabilo all pencil, I'm just drawing in some rough shapes. You could use a piece of chalk or colored pencil or anything really. I like using this because it's water soluble. So if I make a mistake or change my mind like I did here, I can just wet my finger a little bit, rub it on the white line, and just like magic, poof, it's gone. That's why I think that using chalk would also probably be a pretty good substitute if you don't have a white Stabilo all pencil. And let's do an angle across the corner there. So I've got these cream watercolor crayons. It's like a gel crayon. I imagine it would probably be like a gelato or something like that as well. You can use water with them, but I'm going to use them just the way they are. So I took the black one and a piece of scrap paper to protect the side of the edge that I don't want to have the black rub onto. And I'm just rubbing the black watercolor cream into the page using the paper as a barrier. You could also use a piece of masking tape to do this. Or if you're really careful, I imagine you could probably just do it without any kind of paper or masking tape. But I'm using the piece of paper here. That way I don't have to worry about the possibility of these acrylic paints possibly getting peeled up if the tape is a little bit too sticky. So just continuing to rub the black gel crayon into the paint and make some sort of a really simple abstract page in my art journal. You can see here I didn't even follow where I had the original white line. And that's okay, because in the end you're not going to see that white line that I drew with that white Stabilo All pencil at all. Just do that line on the edge of the page, in the corner, and we just got one more shape to do. Oops, I was just about to put it on the wrong side. I want to have a nice clean edge on one side and sort of a fuzzy edge on the other. So that's what the paper is helping to create, that nice solid clean edge. Okay, so that's looking not bad. However, I want to do a little bit more to this. And in this set, there is also a white crayon. So let's see what we can do with this. Doing it on the opposite side and using a clean edge of that same piece of paper, let's try adding an inside edge using the white crayon. Or the white gel crayon, I guess it would be, or watercolor cream. What happens if I do it without using the paper? Ooh, that is a lot more intense. I really like that. Let's do that to this shape here as well. But as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking those shapes are looking like they are too much part of the background. What happens if I do a light layer of the white all over the inside of those shapes? And now they're almost looking like they're a piece of glass, like they're almost 3D. And I'm really liking that, so let's do that to the rest of the shapes. I'll fill in the smudgy white on the inside first, and then I'll go back afterwards and do the white along the edges to give it that more prominent edge or edging. Do a line here. Touch up that one spot there, it's still a little bit too bright. Fix up this line and that one. And there we go. My favorite part, peeling off the tape at the end to get that beautiful, clean, crisp line. And then I smudged a little piece of the black that I had a little chunk there and smeared that onto the paper. Oh well. So there we go, a page that's super simple, quick and easy to do, and a really cool effect. I like it. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.